Yeah, don't walk forward.
Sorry. What'd you say?
Don't move any closer to the camera. Well, I'm just saying.
Don't worry about it. If you get closer. So whoever wants to start, you guys can go down the line.
Okay, I'll start us off. My name is Schwartz. A lot of people also know me as Allie. Obviously running as delegate on the board party. Before I get into why I'm running as delegate, I want to tell you guys a little bit about myself. I'm an RA in Ellicott and Porter. I have the opportunity to work with and inspire students on a daily basis. It's really rewarding. I'm also a career ambassador in the School of Management. I'm a business major, operations and logistics. In addition to that, I'm a part of the SISH Club Impulse Dance Force. I was their treasurer last year. Currently, I'm their event coordinator. I also teach a class as well as I'm on the competition team. I'm also president of the Communication Undergraduate Student Association, so it's primarily communication majors. I started off as a comm major when I was a freshman. That's kind of how I got my foot in the door. And there are some business majors as well, and we bring in speakers from all over the state to come talk to our students and help them with kind of the career decision-making process. And lastly, I work for Career Services over in 259 Capon. I do something called Express, so I have 20-minute appointments with students. I talk to them about resumes and cover letters, and if they're going on an interview, what to say, what not to say, things that they're nervous about, things like that. So with all of that being said, I think that the SUNY delegate position is sometimes misrepresented. I think that it's important that you know, extensive knowledge on the school, and you could be a good voice when you go to this, SUNY conference in Albany. And I am so involved in so many different sectors and avenues of the school. I really feel like I have that knowledge, but a diverse knowledge. So, my residents, I'm an RA, so I know campus living-wise, and I know the students in the school of management, and I'm in a SISH club, I'm in an academic club. So all of that combined, I really do feel like I'd be a good representative of the school, and I'd be able to work with the SUNY Campus Relations Committee over in Albany to work with them and address, what do the students want, what are they happy with, what they don't like, what they do like, be able to voice those concerns to them, and then bring that knowledge back to UB and voice it back to the students.
Hi everybody, I'm Ki. I'm from Malaysia, but I studied in Singapore, so I lived there for about 7 years before I came to UB 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I actually completed my first degree in business and administration in finance, international and supply chain and operations management. And I went on to work for a year before I came back to school and decided to do my second degree in mathematics. And so right now I'm back to a sophomore again. Before that, I was one of the founders for Singapore Student Association, and then I was also the treasurer. I was also the freshman orientation, the international students freshman orientation leader, and that's when I found that a lot of international students, they're actually unaware of what the school has to offer. They do not know about the international clubs. They do not know about where to go in Buffalo. They actually encounter a lot of problems when they first came here. So what I want to do as a SUNY delegate is I want to help out with not only the international students but also with the students in school to make the school a better campus, address their concerns and bring their concerns back to the Albany, and at the same time let them know that school is not just a place for them to come here and just to study, but it's a place for them to interact with each other, get to know each other culture, and that's where they make the friends.
My name is James Lopez. I'm a junior psychology major here at the university. And as they say, the student delegate is pretty much a representative of the university, so I'm just going to pretty much talk about what I'm involved in to hopefully show you guys that I am qualified to represent a huge amount of students here. So first off, Vice President of Bola Latinos Unidos, which is part of the POC Council. I'm also chapter founder and chapter president of my fraternity, Lambda Theta Phi, which is one of the largest Latin fraternities in the nation that we brought on campus. I represent the huge amount of kids who also go to University of Buffalo and work at Wegmans. It might not sound like something, but you would be surprised at how many kids are actually employed by that company. I currently am working with C-STEP in upstate New York Transplant Services and creating a Donate Life Club here, so I'm in that impatience of trying to become at least a 10th club from the interest group. So. And like a lot of kids, public safety is a big thing that people are talking about now, and I'm one of the angry residents who are living on South Campus with terrible landlords and hearing stories about friends getting robbed and stuff. So I think regardless of whatever, I can represent a large population of people in just many diverse areas, not just academic, not just Greek life, not just, a student here, but just people in general, I guess. And I think that's what SUNY Delegates is actually supposed to do. So, yeah.
Makes sense. My first question is for Key. Why did you decide to come back to school?
That's a very good question. Everybody asks me that. When I finished my first degree in business, I actually went on to work, and I find that like there's not many job opportunities for me as a business student, especially when I'm international students. Well, if you're local, maybe it's easy to find a job, but international student is difficult because they have to look into your visa requirements, they have to look into your salaries requirement and everything. And after that, I found this major which is called actuarial science, and it really interests me a lot, which is what I really want to do. It's like statistics with economics and mathematics. So I decided to come back for that.
Joe.
This question's for James. We heard a lot about essay clubs, people being involved on campus, but you had said that you had worked outside of the campus, with organizations outside. How has that knowledge from the outside helped you work with essay here on the campus of the university?
Well, at the end of the day, as students here, we have to represent the university to the outside people. So even with my clubs, like if we go to high school kids and we talk to high school kids about the necessity of higher education, you're still showing that you're part of UB. So you're part of a distinguished institution. Like, oh, they're doing community service. He's wearing a UB hoodie. He's wearing a UB sweatshirt. Like that kind of thing. At the end of the day, when I work at Wegmans and people see me clock in, and I'm also part of UB. So it's just you're always a role model for the school. You always have to be an image of the school. And the more things I do outside of campus, like even if I don't think about it, I'm still representing the university. So that's pretty much, I guess it works in itself.
For Allie, do you have any specific goal as a delegate that you want to accomplish?
That's a good question. And we're actually, the three of us, I speak on behalf of the three of us, we were just saying outside before we came in here, that as delegates, this isn't so much a goal, but just a general comment, as delegates, we want to be able to bridge that gap between maintaining professionalism and being approachable. We want to be able to be real with students, rather than, we don't want to be this political figure on campus and not seem approachable, but at the same time we don't want to be like, what's up everyone, you know what I mean? We have to find that happy medium, and we were just discussing how we really want to be able to do that. In terms of a goal, I know that SA has a suggestion box for students to put in general. I think that A, students don't know about that, and B, it's intimidating to write what you want and then your name attached to it. So I was talking with someone of creating a website, and you can submit suggestions anonymously. Optional, you can put your name, and creating office hours to talk with students. I don't have anything very specific in mind. I know a lot of the delegates have they want to do safety, or they want to with international students or something like that. I'm more of an overview. I want to hear what the students want before I dive into anything. So work with the students, see what they want, and then address that.
One more question for each person. Who's got questions? Lisa Delatorre, give me a question.
Can you come back to me?
Yeah, sure.
You have one less delegate than the other party, so how do you plan on adjusting your role to better encompass all the students at the university? I understand that.
Well, I want to start by saying, though we have three, take a look at what the delegates done throughout history at the university. There's a lot of people who work in SA who have clubs for multiple years, and they don't even know who all four of the delegates are. So how many people have been elected on tickets and all four delegates put in work equally? It's never really the case. So whether we have one delegate, two delegates, three delegates, or four delegates, someone can always put in more work than the other. But if we actually, the three of us, we actually want to, be more visible on campus, have people actually know about us. Everyone talks about what, things do you want to do aside from going to the conference and whatnot, but how can we do that if people don't even know who we are? If we have office hours and people aren't actually in their office. So regardless of what number we have, if there's two of us who actually are in the office all the time, who actually want to get out there and talk to people, then it makes no difference as if four people were elected and they didn't do anything they did, which has happened throughout the past couple of years, as I know as a candidate.
Who's next? Two questions left, two candidates left. question 4. Nobody gets a question. Joe.
There's not, it's not a disconnect, but you know, having international students here that come here that probably don't know the surroundings, you being, you know, experienced with situations, what would you say the one problem is with the university's connection with international students and students that are from around the area, and how will you attack that problem, and how would you make it more visible to the student?
Yeah, what we can do is we can come together and create a club fair or a culture event. I know this has been done, but what I'm talking about is like promoting the culture event through food, because everybody loves food, right? So if you have free food, you go out there, people will come, and there's the best time that you can actually get everybody come together. And what I actually think of doing this is that, do you all know about International Fiesta? So yeah, this is a good time which all the international clubs, they can actually get the surrounding people come together to know what their culture is. And if we can do this, incorporate with the food, that's the best way to reach out to the people, because the students will come because of the food, and the people of the surrounding, as in the Americans or even the Buffalo community, they will come because they want to know the culture. And through that, they can sample like the food from each culture and get to know it better. So you become a mini world in a sense. Yeah.
I guess one thing, what is one way you could bridge the gap between the essay and student body?
That's for Allie.
Okay. I'm sorry, what did you say? Bridge the gap between the essay and the student body? To answer that, I'm going to echo what James said. Making ourselves known, office hours, and allowing students to come to us. And I think that sometimes it becomes intimidating when someone is an essay. I know when I was a freshman, and even when I was running for president of CUSA, it's just intimidating to walk into that office and you don't know faces. If you're not a part of SA, or you're not even necessarily that involved in a club, it can be really intimidating to walk into a room. Everyone's talking to one another. It's like this big office on the 3rd floor. So just becoming approachable, I think will bridge that gap. And I want students to feel comfortable enough to come to us, and making ourselves known to the students. And you know, we want to hear what they have to say. That's why we're doing this. We want to represent them.
Thanks, guys.